Welcome to the Museum of Aquarium and Pet History. Today is January 1st, 2024. Welcome to the new year. You're probably wondering, hey, I'm not at building number 1. I'm over at Zoomit in the animal room. And why are you working on your day off, Gary? Well, that is because animal people do not get a day off. Animals don't know that it's Christmas, New Year's, Easter, whatever. They still need to be cleaned, fed, and everything else. So that leads to the next question. Well, how do you get employees to come in? Well, you bribe them with chocolate. That's how you do it. So that is one way to get them to come in. So today we're going to have a special 5-minute video because normally we don't release the 5-minute videos on the weeks that we do the big release. But because of all the holidays, we're a little behind. So I'm hoping the big release with the Phil Cooper video that a lot of you have been asking about will go forth this Friday, but I'm not positive. So if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, please forgive me. But we're going to do this little special 5-minute video, and make sure you watch to the end because there's a special surprise at the end of it. So let's talk about, first of all, a friend of mine, Bob Krause. And Bob I've known for, 50 years, probably close to 50 years. And he was also an entrepreneur in the pet industry. He basically wrote a book called Turtling, right here, Following My Passion. And the book is all about him as a child collecting reptiles, and basically being enamored by turtles. Then he was drafted into the Vietnam era war. Thank you for your service, Bob, by the way. But he didn't have to go to Vietnam because he was a computer programmer, computer scientist. So they sent him to Washington, D.C. Lucky Bob. And after that, he really wanted to follow his dream and open a pet shop. So he opened what was called the world's largest pet shop, called Noah's Ark. And 27 stores later, so he had not only the largest pet shop, he had one of the largest chains at the time. He started basically making his own products. Then he bought out a import-export person, and he turned that into Pets International, which became one of the largest small animal companies to both make and import small animal products. And that's where kind of we come in with the museum, because not only does he write a book that talks about the historical aspects of the pet industry, it really gets into it. So I highly recommend his book. But also, he wrote a chapter on hamsters, and we've been talking about doing a hamster article because I have people that have asked me, when are you going to do a hamster article? So he wrote an article on his critter cage, his Crittertrail cage, and it's an amazing article. It actually was a chapter in the book that they had to leave out. So he gave it to us to print, and that will be in the Mo-Off release. It comes out either Friday or next week. So make sure you check that out because it's an amazing article about the whole history of hamster cages from the 1970s on up to about 2000. The other thing is that what I found by reading the book is that Bob gave me a jewel aquarium that I was just enamored by. And it was the original one of this. This is actually the reproduction one that was made by Sam from Play It Again Sam out of Chicago. But they made 3 generations of this tank, the original one being made in 1932. And Bob had an original one. And by reading this book, I found out that he got it from Auburndale Goldfish Company, which is amazing because that company's been around since 1950, and they're gone now. And it was bought out. But it was in the guy's office that owned it, and somehow Bob got a hold of it and put it in his first Noah's Ark Pet Center. That's where I saw it. And that's where I spent a lifelong journey of annoying Bob to get the tank. And when he sold his company, finally, Pets International, he was kibitzing me, or basically joking with me that, hey, I got the tank all crated up, ready to go to you. And sure enough, it showed up at the warehouse, and he did actually send me the aquarium as a gift. And I've been eternally grateful because it is first generation jewel aquarium, this model with the seahorse legs and the dolphin sides and the clamshell lights. Probably the rarest, one of the rarest of the jewels. They're all pretty rare from the Deco era, but this one's pretty spectacular. So what can I say? The end of his book talks about conservation, how he basically went full circle and got back into not only breeding tortoises and water turtles, but also conservation of these turtles. And it's a great book. It's available at Barnes & Noble, or it's available at Amazon. Now, just for 1 second, to get back to the article he wrote on the Critter Trail, he talks about at the very end how it really outsold every other hamster cage in the marketplace. And so the factory that was making it for him in China, he had actually hit the 1 million unit mark, sold over 1 million critter trails. So they did something very special for him. And I'm going to show that to you now. Okay, so when you read the article that Bob wrote on the Critter Trail, at the end of the article he talks about how he reached 1 million units in sales, and he got a special gift from the factory that they had a big ceremony and presented him with. And that gift was a gold-plated Critter Trail. And there it is.